Many around the NFL are giving the Las Vegas Raiders a ton of credit for the offseason they've had. There are even some daring to predict good things for them this year, especially with the way some of the guys showed up to OTAs and minicamp. Quarterback Geno Smith got his timing down with his receivers and he was accurate as usual. Running back Ashton Jeanty showed his ability to catch the ball and run routes. He showed his ability to catch the ball deep down the field, too. Speaking of catching the ball deep down the field, receiver Dante Thornton showed he knows how to use that 6'5" height and 4'3" wheels to make plays. On defense, corner Darian Porter showed he knows how to use his 6'3" height and 4'3" wheels to make plays. Those were the guys that were loud and up front. There were also some guys that showed up quietly. One of the guys that balled that you might not have heard about is tight end Michael Merritt. Most of Raider Nation is checking for Brock Bowers, and deservedly so, but the Raiders have another weapon at tight end. He was the best tight end to come out in the 2023 draft. They looked at him as a Rob Gronkowski type, as he was called Baby Gronk in college. Merritt is a good blocker and receiver, and he showed it when he came up. He was carving out a role on the offense as a rookie, but then he suffered a setback in year 2. There was a personal matter that made him miss a big chunk of time, so that year was a wash. He showed up to OTAs and minicamp this year, a brand new man though. But since it was only minicamp without pads, he was only able to show the improvement he made running routes and catching passes, and he quietly turned heads. Most of the guys were caught up in what they saw guys like Porter and Thornton do. The speedsters caught the attention of the media, but offensive coordinator Chip Kelly noticed he has another weapon at the tight end position he has to find a way to use. That's a good problem to have, and Kelly actually seems excited to see what he can do with Mayer this year. He had plenty to say about Merritt at a post-minicamp practice press conference. It sounds like he's going to have some type of role in this offense, too.
Well, he's how old is he? How old is he? Not left on the bone. I mean, he's 23?
No doubt about it.
God, remember when we were 23?
Yeah, right. Not really, actually, unfortunately. But
you had a rough upbringing then.
Yeah. Brock Bowers,
am I right?
It was too good.
Yeah.
It was too good. But Brock Bowers, he comes in and sort of takes some of the luster away. But how do you kind of figure out a way to get the most out of Michael Merritt?
I think Mike has been outstanding since I've been here. And for all of us, we came in kind of tabula rasa. We're a blank slate. We watched film of all the players just to kind of get an understanding of what they did, but didn't make any decisions on anything until you see him here. And Mike's been fantastic since day one of the offseason program when we started early in April there. And what he did just in the weight room, what he's done in the meeting room, and then what we did in phase 2, and then what he's continued to do here. So really, really excited about him. And there's never a position anywhere where a coach will say, you know what, we have too many good players. Like that's never the case, especially in this league, because everybody's really talented that you're going to go against. So the more tight ends we can get, the more wideouts we can get, the more running backs we can get, the more quarterbacks you can get, then we'll continue to take them. But I think Mike's been outstanding. And I checked. You can play with 2 tight ends in a game at the same time, and sometimes you can play with 3 tight ends. They told me so maybe we can get to that if we have to. Obviously, you're going to try to attack each team you're playing each week differently, depending on how they defend you. But to be able to have that ability and have a couple quality guys here, because Ian Thomas has been outstanding, and he's a guy that's played a lot of snaps in this league too. So.
When you draft a receiver in the 2nd round and in the 4th round, you expect to hear more about the 2nd rounder. Usually, if it doesn't happen like that, your 2nd round pick is a bust. That wasn't the case, though. Thornton got all the attention from OTAs to minicamp because he was phenomenal, but that doesn't mean 2nd round pick Jack Best has looked anything like a bust. As a matter of fact, he's been just the opposite. He shined in OTAs and minicamp just like Thornton did. It was just on a more quiet level. That's because Best's game was a little more quiet than Thornton's. Thornton is 6'5", 215 pounds, and ran a 4.3 40. He was made to be a down-the-field threat. Best is 6'1", 215 pounds, and ran a 4.5 40. He has reliable hands, and he's a physical guy. He's more physical, but he's a lot like Jacoby Myers in that he isn't flashy, doesn't wow you with anything, but he shows up with his lunch pail every day and goes to work. He makes possession catches over the middle for first downs. In OTAs and minicamp, his hands were on display as he made a lot of contested catches. Many, including I thought safety Trevon Merritt was a big loss from the Raiders' defense this offseason. I understood, though, because he got a big bag to go to the Carolina Panthers. Then the Raiders got Jeremy Chin to take his place, and I thought that's not too bad. That's not a big drop-off. He's actually similar to Merritt. However, Merritt is more of a cover guy, while Chin is more of a physical presence, a big hitter. But both are versatile with the ability to cover or play the run and blitz. Chin wasn't as good at man-to-man coverage, but he was improving in that area. Then he shows up to the offseason program and he showed he's improved even more in man-to-man coverage. Chin reportedly has been hard to complete a pass on, even while covering some of the team's playmakers on offense. That's big because that was his weakness. It also means the Raiders can play press man outside when they want. It's one thing to have press corners, but your safeties and linebackers got to be able to play man-to-man coverage for it to work. And being a strong safety, Chin is going to have to face tight ends like Travis Kelce and Evan Ingram in that AFC West. Defensive coordinator Patrick Graham had a chance to talk about him at a post-minicamp press conference. He sounds like he likes what he sees.
Starts off, I would say, with Jeremy, the leadership. I don't know if you guys got a chance to talk to him, but just in terms of his leadership, he's very sure of himself because he puts in the work. That self-confidence comes from preparation. It's not a self-esteem thing or self-talk thing. When you're prepared, you have that you're really, really confident. That's what I see from him. And he's been a sponge in terms of learning how we want to do things, and then all the physical attributes. But all 32 teams know about that. The speed, the size, the physicality, the ability to tackle, nose for the ball. So, it's all been positive there.
Another big loss for the Raiders this offseason was Nate Hobbs at the slot corner position. I really didn't like that one. However, I looked at some film and saw that there wasn't a big drop-off at all when Darnay Holmes took over for an injured Hobbs last year. He was solid in coverage and handled those all-important responsibilities against the run well. Of course, the Raiders think they have an immediate impact player on the outside in Porter, and Eric Stokes and Jacorian Bennett are in a battle on the other side. If they can get the slot sewed up, the defense is looking good, even without Christian Wilkins. If the way he played last season in minicamp are any indication, they do, because Holmes balled out in OTAs and minicamp, especially minicamp. You obviously can't judge his run defense in minicamp, but you can judge his coverage, and that has been outstanding. He made plays on the ball all throughout minicamp. On the second day, he had 2 interceptions and didn't discriminate. He picked off starting quarterback Geno Smith and backup Aiden O'Connell. Then he closed minicamp the way he should on day 3 with a couple of pass breakups. He's looking good. Coming into this offseason, the Raiders had perceived weaknesses at the offensive skill positions as well as the secondary. But after the draft and free agency, they got them all together in minicamp and guys looked good. We're not going to get anything from the linemen, but the running backs can show their ability to catch the ball and linebackers can show their coverage skills. And of course, the quarterbacks, receivers, and defensive backs can show their stuff. And they did in Raider minicamp. There were some guys that shined bright as the noise from Raider minicamp was loud about them. Then there were the guys that quietly shined. Watch out for Merritt, Best, Chin, and Holmes. It looks like they're coming. Thank you for watching. See you next time.